Alrighty. All right, what's going on, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, I actually tried to do a live stream earlier and my internet failed for some reason. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of go through this quickly because I do have to leave for work in about T minus 27 minutes. So I'm going to make this around a 15-minute podcast, try to go through everything really quick and quick as possible because, well, my internet kind of crapped the bed for a second, which is really annoying, but, it is what it is. So I guess the first thing that we should probably talk about is the Yankees and Phillies are considering playing a doubleheader in Philadelphia if the weather doesn't allow them to play at the stadium. Now, personally, for me, I hope that if there's not a doubleheader, I hope they're able to play baseball back to back to back because I think it's better that way. I'm pretty sure the players would rather play like that as well. But you can't always have nice things because most stadiums in the league still don't have retractable stadium or retractable domes, and I don't think that's ever going to happen anyway. So it is what it is. No big deal. But there is a possibility of there being a doubleheader. I don't know if they're talking about a doubleheader maybe today. And I'm not really sure if they're maybe talking about a doubleheader for Wednesday. So I'm not sure if they're going to play tonight at 6:05 and then play at 9 later tonight, or if they're just going to do it on Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure as of right now. There hasn't really been much information on it as of yet, but there's that. And then we talk about the Red Sox versus Yankee series, the sweep versus the Boston Red Sox. You absolutely love to see it. DJ LeMahieu, first game, 3 hits, outstanding machine, doing great things. Aaron Judge, another home run, completely ridiculous. Gleyber Torres, the first game, 2 hits. Gio Urshela, 2 hits, locked in. Gio Urshela had a home run. Brett Gardner had his first home run of the year. And then we also have Montgomery. Montgomery pitched well. He had a nice, solid curveball. He had things working. 5.2 innings, 5 hits, only 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. Not much more I can ask, and he's only going to get better from here. I have a lot of faith and confidence in Montgomery. He looks solid. Also, you have Chad Green, 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, looked outstanding. That fastball painting the corners and, painting the edges, going up. Absolutely ridiculous to try and hit his pitches. Chad Green looked amazing as always. Ottavino only pitched 4 pitches, actually. Only pitched 0.1 innings. They have Jonathan Holder pitched 1 inning with 1 walk, 1 strikeout. A lot of people get heart attacks from him, but he did his job. That's all I can ask for. I've said this in the past. As long as you get the job done, it doesn't have to be pretty, but if you get the job done, then that's all I can ask for. And then you have the second game of the series, which was 5-2 Yankees, obviously, because the Yankees got the sweep. DJ LeMahieu didn't do too much, which is very surprising. No hits, 2 strikeouts. Aaron Judge with another home run. Ridiculous, with a walk as well. Luke Voigt got 2 hits. Urshela also got another home run. So back-to-back home runs for Urshela, including which this game in particularly, grand slam for the Geo God in the second inning. Absolutely incredible. I am so happy that we got Gio Urshela. He's been a blessing in disguise. His offense, I know, wasn't where it was at when he was in like Cleveland and Toronto, but then he went down to AAA, and I believe it was something to do with his follow-through swing. He fixed it. He made the necessary adjustments, came up to New York, and he's been outstanding. I know a lot of people were kind of worried that Gio was going to be a fluke, but I don't think it's a fluke. I think Gio Urshela is naturally a solid hitter, and he's proved that because he's made the adjustments and, he's doing what he needs to do. He's doing Gio things like he did last year. So very happy for Gio. He's been a blessing in disguise, like I said before. Also, Gary Sanchez got his first hit of the season, and he also walked as well. So that makes me feel very confident in El Gary, the Kraken. I have a lot of confidence in him moving forward. I knew that wasn't going to stay around for a while. The problem with Gary is he's usually a very streaky hitter. He's either going to be a God heaven sent or he's going to look absolutely lost at the plate. And I think he's starting to get his stride, and I think we might see him on a hot streak now, which at least that's what I am hoping for. But we will see. The pitching, Tanaka only pitched 2.2 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. It is what it is. He came back after that concussion. I know he had a really good outing in Scranton. So did Luis Sessa not too long ago. So, he's going to build up some time. The thing about Tanaka is he's either going to give you a really good start or he's going to give you a really mediocre start. But the good thing about Tanaka is he's definitely an innings eater. And we all know what the injury report that the Yankees had last season. That was huge. That was very, very, very important to eat up innings considering all the injuries that the Yankees endured and suffered through last season. So You also had Avalon, you had Nelson, and then you had Hale. Outstanding, especially Nelson. Nelson looked incredible. Nelson 3 innings. He walked 2 batters, but he was able to get out of all the jams without giving up a run and causing more damage. He struck out 4. I know Avalon struck out 2. David Hale, I know a lot of people don't like the David Hale experiment anymore, but he did strike out 3 hitters and able to get out of the 2 innings that he pitched without little trouble, without pretty much any trouble for that matter, other than walking 1 batter. But that basically brings me a lot of joy and a lot of excitement, because after hearing the news a few days ago about Tommy Kahnle needing Tommy John surgery, which is absolutely horrible for the Yankees because he's one of the best relievers, if not one of the best relievers in the league. His changeup is not, if not one of the best changeups in the league too, is absolutely filthy. Kahnle is one of those guys you always want in a high leverage situation, and you want him to be in the postseason because he's going to be one of those reliable guys for you. But now that I know that we have such young arms that can all throw quality, 1, 2, maybe 3 innings, these young guys that are coming up through the farm system, and they're all looking solid, it makes me feel a lot less anxious about having Tommy Kahnle out. Now, obviously, I'm sad. I want Tommy Kahnle to play, but it makes me feel a lot better knowing that we have guys in the pen that we can rely on. We haven't even seen the best of Clark Schmidt. I think Deivi Garcia has a lot of potential too. I know he just had some nerves when he pitched that exhibition game. I think he'll be fine. He's so young. What is he? I think Deivi Garcia is 21 years old. So I have a lot of faith in him. Clark Schmidt looks amazing. Clark Schmidt is going to overpower. He's a big guy for a pitcher. So I know those are 2 starters. I'm more was talking about the bullpen, but just in terms of arms in general, the Yankees have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of young guys that could do a lot of damage in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the second game. And then we talk about the third game. The third game was insanity in terms of the atmosphere. If there were fans in the stadium on Sunday night, that would have felt like a postseason game. Like, that game was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Incredible game played by both the Yankees and the Red Sox. I got to give credit where credit's due. The Red Sox were trying to battle back. They ended up losing in the end, but they were giving the Yankees, a run for their money. That was a good, solid, hard-fought baseball game. And I don't want to say it was the best baseball game this season, because there have been some really, really good baseball games that were fought tooth and nail to the bitter end. But in terms of the Yankees games this season, this was easily the best game the Yankees played. Not in the terms of in defense. The defense was very skeptical, and we'll talk about that in a second. Also, the pitching was very skeptical, which we know that, because if the pitching wasn't skeptical, they wouldn't have given up 7 runs. But the offense needed what they needed to do. And that's the thing I've stressed in the past. I just said it earlier. As long as you get the job done, it doesn't have to look pretty, but if you get the job done and you win the games, that is all that matters at the end of the day. You acquire that dub and you move forward, and you build upon what you already have. The Yankees did that, and that's why I love this team. This team is so much fun to watch. They are so much fun, incredible. They are an incredible organization, incredible lineup filled with guys from top to bottom that if you make one bad mistake, they will make you pay in a heartbeat, and they will take advantage of that the majority of the time. But, DJ LeMahieu doing DJ LeMahieu things, 2 hits, 1 RBI, came up clutch and tied the game in the 8th inning. Luke Voit, solo home run, did strike out twice, but he gave us a solo home run. Gary Sanchez with his first RBI of the season. He did what he needed to do when it counted. Gio Urshela, again, I talked about him just a second ago. Give him some more praise. 3 for 4 with 1 RBI. He did strike out once. No big deal, though, especially when you get 3 hits with 3 hits with 1 RBI. And, Urshela's looking outstanding. Again, don't really have to say too much about him. He's a blessing in disguise. And then we talk about Aaron freaking Judge. Aaron Judge, the man of the hour. This man has hit 6 home runs in the past 5 games. And the 2 home runs that he hit last night, not only was Matt Vascarin screaming so loud that there was so much distortion in the mic, and I was just beyond excited. Like, I haven't felt that energetic and that alive watching a baseball game since the postseason last year. Like, it felt good to have that type of energy brought back to baseball without the fans. And that's why I'm saying, if the fans were there, this game would have felt like a postseason game. Like, it felt like this game meant something. Like, even though in the long run, this game probably did. I mean, obviously in a condensed 60-game season, it means a little bit more. But this isn't a postseason game, but it felt like a postseason game. But Aaron Judge, 2 home runs, 6 home runs in the last 5 games, MVP quality type player right here. He's playing at a ridiculous level. Both the home runs that he hit gave the Yankees the lead in the 2nd and 8th inning, coming up clutch 2 different times in the game. What more can you ask for? And the more terrifying thought, at least for opposing pitchers, is this guy said he had the audacity to say in a post-game interview that he is not even locked in yet. And I'm just thinking, like, my brain is completely mush. Like like the warheads, the sour candy, like his face is extremely surprised and he has like steam or smoke coming out of his ears because the candy is so sour. That mascot on that logo on that candy brand, that was basically my facial expression when I heard that. And it's like, if he's playing at this type of elite level, 6 home runs in 5 games, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's up there on a list with like Alex Rodriguez. I don't want to say Lou Gehrig in the terms of this many home runs and only this many games played, which is an elite group of players to be a part of, because we know how amazing Alex Rodriguez was in his career. And I don't even have to speak about Lou Gehrig, obviously one of the best players to ever do it. And that's final. That's not even debatable. But Aaron Judge, not locked in. What does that say about the rest of this season? If he's not locked in right now, what is he going to do moving forward? Like, that's terrifying. And I know Aaron Boone said something about Aaron Judge is on a mission right now. And I'm thinking he's on a mission to acquire not only number 28, he wants to win a ring, but he's also on a mission to get AL MVP. Because as we know, I can make a whole 2-hour, podcast about it, talking about it. But the fact is the matter, regardless, Jose Altuve won the MVP in 2017. But do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Now what we know, obviously that makes the MVP voting look even worse. But even regardless of the cheating scandal, Judge was clearly better than Altuve. And I can't believe that it even was close. Like, pretty much every statistic, both offensively and defensively, Judge was miles better than Altuve. The only thing that I could think of off the top of my head that Altuve was better at was pretty much batting average and maybe RBIs, and that's about it. Every other statistic, every advanced statistic from both the offensive side of the spectrum and the defensive side of the spectrum heavily favored Judge, and I still don't understand that to this day. But I think he's on a mission to become, acquire the first AL MVP for himself, hopefully many more in his career. It'll be a little hard to do that, especially with Mike Trout in the league, because we know how ridiculous Mike Trout is. He's just one of the best players we will ever see in our lifetime. I don't even think that's debatable. I don't even think we have to have a discussion or argument about that. It is what it is. But Aaron Judge is on a mission. He wants to win number 28, probably wants to win MVP. I know he'd rather win a championship over that, which I personally would rather him have a championship too. But if he can win number 28 and become AL MVP, that's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So that's excellent. And then, the pitching. Got a lot to talk about with the pitching. Paxton did not pitch well, point blank. I like Paxton. And I will admit, he's pretty much one of my favorite players on the Yankees. But do I think he pitched well? Not at all. His velocity was down. He was going 91, 92. That's basically wiffle ball, especially when you're pitching to solid hitters and JD Martinez or Xander Bogaerts or Rafael Devers. These guys are not going to miss on a 91 mile per hour fastball. They're just not. They're way too good. And they proved that. Xander Bogaerts was absolutely nuts last night. 4 hits, 3 RBIs, outstanding game for him. Devers defensively was really good. I was surprised. Devers is making really good adjustments defensively. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but Devers has been awful defensively. Maybe he'll have a solid defensive season. We'll see. But the Red Sox made the Yankees pitching pay many, many, many times, especially Bogaerts and Devers. Bogaerts had an incredible game last night. He was basically untouchable. He was seeing the ball so well last night. And, anyways, Paxton's velo, it's just got to come up. I don't think his command was awful. I don't think his location was awful. I think it's just simply his velo was down, and that's all that is to it. You could look at StatCast and see the velo. He usually hits 95, 96, but he wasn't even hitting close to that. He was hitting 91, 92, and that's wiffle ball for most of these Red Sox hitters. Like I said, Martinez and Bogarts and Devers, they're not missing on these types of pitches. They're too good. They've been in the league, or maybe not in the league long enough outside of at least Martinez, but they're too good of hitters not to make Paxton pay for his mistakes. So, the pitching was pretty much the only pitcher that I would think got the job done was Britton. Adam Ottavino somewhat too. Adam Ottavino he did walk one batter, which is always a concern with Adam Ottavino. With his sweeping slider, he's going to walk a lot of hitters, and that's always a concern. But Britton went out there, didn't give up any runs, struck out one, did his job. Pretty much the only guy that I would say was pretty much elite last night in terms of pitching. Everybody else was either average or very spotty, if not mediocre at best. But I would like to defend Paxton a little bit in the sense that, yes, Paxton's velo was down. There's no sugarcoating that. And he was not on his A game. But at the same time, there were 3 different mistakes defensively that I can think of off the top of my head. 2 being misplays, misjudgment calls by Hicks. I don't really know what he was doing on both of those plays. And then you also have, I don't even know what to say about Andujar. We knew his defense was terrible at third base, and that's putting it nicely. But in left field, he completely butchered what would have been a routine ground ball basically to anybody else. And it's like, Andujar, it's like, how do you miss that? Like, even Clint Frazier doesn't miss that. I mean, at least I would like to think Frazier doesn't miss that, but it was just, and that play ended up costing them a run. And then the 2 errors, or I don't even know if they ruled them as errors, but basically the 2 misjudgment calls by Hicks costed the Yankees more runs too. So it's like, yeah, Paxton's velocity was down, but I'm not completely set on blaming Paxton on all the runs allowed because there were 3 different mistakes in the defense. They screwed him over. But, there's that. Yankees still won. I think it was the most intense game of the season so far as the Yankees concerned. And then we're going to talk real quick because I don't have much time left because I do have to head to work, unfortunately. But I do want to talk about the Yankees lineup and the Phillies lineup a little bit. The Yankees, we got DJ LeMahieu leading off. Not really sure if you're really surprised by that. We got Judge. Obviously, Judge is going to stay in because he's hot. He's locked in. Apparently, he's not locked in according to him, but, he's been outstanding. Got Hicks, Stanton, Ford, Urshela, Sanchez, Gardner, Wade. I still think Gardner should be replaced by Mike Tauchman. I think Mike Tauchman should be receiving more playing time than Brett Gardner. That's just me. I think Tauchman is, although he hasn't obviously played as long as Gardner, that's not even close or debatable. I think Tauchman is just as good as a defender as Brett Gardner is. I think they're both elite defenders. They're both going to be reliable for you out in the field, so I don't have to worry about, Tauchman making mistakes or errors out in the field. And, Mike Tauchman, also with Mike Tauchman, you still got the lefty bat. If you want to use the lefty bat argument, you still got Mike Tauchman, and, Mike Tauchman is a better hitter than what people give him credit for. Not only that, but Brett Gardner is getting to the ends of his ropes, and you want younger guys to start sticking up and, start filling those spots for your team. And I think Tauchman is the perfect guy to do it. I want Tauchman to start more than Brett Gardner. I think it's time to give Tauchman more games played, and I think he's proved it. And, with Ford, I would much rather prefer Luke Voit. Luke Voigt's going to get on base for you more than Ford is. But am I opposed to Ford getting chances? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ford has a lot of potential as well, and I'm glad Ford is finally making the most out of his opportunities, and I can't complain about that. So am I going to freak out about, Ford being in the lineup over Voit? Absolutely not. No way. Ford's done pretty much every time Ford stepped up to the plate this year, most of his at-bats, he's made the most out of what he needed to do, whether it's a base hit or RBI or a sac fly. Ford has done what he's needed to do, and that's all I can ask for. As long as they get the job done, I don't care how the lineup works. Outside, I do think Tauchman should get more time over Gardner, but at the end of the day, if Gardner comes out and goes 4 for 4, then so be it. As long as they win the game, then that's all that matters. And then, you got Tyler Wade. I love Tyler Wade more in the sense that he's an elite defender. You never have to worry about him defensively. And not only is he elite defensively, but although his bat isn't the best in the world, although I think his bat could definitely improve, he can make some adjustments and improve his hitting abilities. I also do think that Wade is an important piece of the team, not just because of his flexibility defensively, not only in the infield, but in the outfield as well. But the good thing about Wade is he's also got elite speed. His sprint speed is off the charts quick. And not only that, but Wade is an excellent base runner. And also, Wade, not only is he an excellent base runner, elite base runner by that stretch of the imagination. Sorry, I cannot speak today. But Wade is also going to steal a lot of bases for you because he's so quick, and that's very important. And that's the one thing I liked about last night's game. Because of Mike Tauchman stealing that bag to second and then DJ LeMahieu getting that base hit, that's another reason. Mike Tauchman is a very smart baseball player, not just in the batter's box, but he's a smart player defensively and on the base paths. And that's another reason I really like Tauchman. He made a huge play that ended up getting the Yankees tied with the Red Sox in the 8th inning. Very crucial. And then brought up Aaron Judge, and then, that rest is history with Judge. So read some comments for you guys real quick. Torres is dog shink right now. Yeah, Torres hasn't been that good. He's on a cold streak, but I think give him some time to get locked in. I think he'll be good. I like I said, I would just give him a little time. Maybe the break tonight because he's not in the starting lineup tonight. Maybe tomorrow he'll be ready, or if the game doesn't get rained out. But the next game that he does play, I think he'll start picking it back up. I know Gary Sanchez is finally starting to get to where he needs to go. And, I'm not too worried about Gary Sanchez anymore. Gary is one of those people that is very streaky hitter, and I think Gleyber's a very streaky hitter as well. So I think the Yankees will be in good hands. You just got to give them a little bit of time. I know the season is condensed, and some people might lose their patience. They need to get, up and ready instantly, like Judge is. Judge is just hitting off the season with incredible statistics, incredible stats. But I think Gleyber will be fine. Yeah, same with Paxton, obviously. He's got to bring up the velo, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Do you think Hicks needs to start every game? I think Hicks should start every game. I think he should. I honestly would not be opposed to Hicks. And I've said this in the past, two guys that I would not be opposed to having in the leadoff spot if they were to not have DJ LeMahieu in the leadoff spot, or if DJ had an off day for some reason, he had, taken the day off, I would not be opposed to having both either Voit or Hicks in the leadoff position. The reason is because in terms of minimum plate appearances of 500 plate appearances last season, Luke Voit actually had a higher on-base percentage than DJ LeMahieu. And you want your guy that has the highest on-base percentage, you want him to be off on your leadoff position because he's going to get on base no matter what. The thing with DJ, I'm not worried about him getting on base. He's going to get on base regardless if he's in the leadoff position or if he was in the bottom 9 of the starting lineup. Obviously, he's never going to be in the bottom, the bottom 9, or like not the bottom 9, but 7, 8, 9 position. But the point is, DJ's going to get on base, and DJ's going to do what he's going to do no matter where he's out on the lineup. Luke Voit, he's going to get on base, and I think that's, like I said, you got to have your guy with the highest on-base percentage in your leadoff position. And I would also like to have Hicks in that position too, occasionally, because Hicks likes to draw walks. That's the one thing that a lot of people don't appreciate enough from Hicks. They only look at average, but they don't realize how many walks Hicks, draws out, how he works out 3-2 counts. He can battle back from an 0-2 count and work it into a 3-2 count and then get on base from a walk. That's the thing I love about Hicks. Not necessarily that he's going to come in clutch all the time, although he has made some clutch hits, clutch home runs, especially in the postseason last year with that 3-run homer. I think it was in the first inning. But he's made some clutch plays also defensively too. Last night, not so much, but Hicks is one of those guys that he's going to work out counts for you, and he's going to get on base regardless. He's going to get on base. He's going to find a way to get on base. And, that brings up the discussion. Am I going to be mad if the Yankees decide to put DJ LeMahieu in the starting lineup, as the leadoff hitter the rest of the season? No, not really. Absolutely not. If he's in the starting lineup as the leadoff for the rest of the season, so be it. It is what it is. And that's the thing I love about the Yankees offense. There is absolutely no issue with having problems in flexibility of your lineup. And the Yankees honestly, they could probably put Urshela in the leadoff position and he would do fine. There's a lot of guys that could be in the leadoff position, and it's a good problem to have. So, it is what it is. And then, the rest is history. So With tonight, though, I got to pretty much get going because I don't have much time left. But the Phillies, it's going to be interesting to see Gregorius back in Yankee Stadium. I do think Gregorius might pop off a home run, get a base hit or two. I think he'll be fine. In terms of what do I also think is going to happen? I think I don't ever like to say a game is going to be a blowout. I don't ever like saying that. I think it will be like I don't know. This is a iffy game. Because Jake Arrieta is pitching tonight, which I don't think he's awful by any stretch of the imagination. Probably me. I think right off the bat, I might say it might be a 6-3 game, 6-2 game, because we also got Garrett Cole on the bump tonight. I think Garrett Cole will pitch excellently tonight. And I'm not really too worried about Garrett Cole. Let's be realistic. I think Garrett Cole is going to be fine. He's going to do Cole things. So it is what it is. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I know it was kind of like quick, and I wish I would have got more time to talk a little bit more. But, I actually have to go to work here soon, unfortunately. Not actually unfortunately. More unfortunately because I'm going to miss the Yankee game, but I do like my job a lot. I don't know how many people can say they genuinely love their job, but I do. But I do hope you guys enjoy the podcast. I definitely plan on doing another podcast tomorrow, and hope you guys enjoy not just the game tonight, but if you guys are avid baseball fans, enjoy all the games tonight, not just the Yankee game, but all the other games. And overall, just have a fantastic night. So see you guys later.